Hi, this is Logan Adamson. Today, I will be doing my film criticism assignment, and I will be talking about the film Nope by Jordan Peele. And this is a movie that I absolutely love to hate because it's so masterfully directed and filmed, but it's such a horrible and grotesque story. So it's kind of like a car accident. You can't look away. And that's essentially the plot of this film. Small breakdown of the film. It's about essentially an alien movie where you think it's the flying saucer, but it turns out the flying saucer is the alien itself, and it's just this big flying monster that eats people and terrorizes these main characters. But it goes, there's so many layers to this that I can't explain everything. But essentially, one of the big things that it pushes in the film itself is spectacle, and how when you use live and like wild animals for spectacle in the film, or just in general, that somebody's gonna get hurt and somebody's gonna die. So let's talk about how all the shots are kind of motivated towards this idea. A lot of the creative choices that all have this reason is there are so many shots that deal with just wild animals before they're even like reveal that's what the alien is. There's a plot at the beginning that it opens with about a story about Gordy, which is about a chimpanzee that goes crazy on a set because some balloons pop and it like kills the entire cast except for one kid. And that kid goes on later to think that he was special from this, thinks that he has a special connection to animals, and so he tries to use that with the alien that he discovers in the park, and that he discovers on the ranch, or he has a park next to the ranch. And so, but that ends up getting him killed. So, fun. There's so many shots that are just centered around eyes, like eyes themselves. There's a montage of this famous photographer who they get to help to try and photograph the creature. And there's a montage that shows a lot of the other things that he's filmed, and it shows wild animals attacking and killing one another, but it also does a lot of zoom-ins on the eye, and that's actually a major theme point in the film, is that if you don't look at the monster in the eye, then it won't attack you. Kind of the same thing with just in general with wild animals, is not to like make eye contact or they will come and attack you. And there's so many like little hints and nods to that throughout the thing, especially with the monster itself. When it's motivated to like the design of the creature is that its eye actually looks like a camera lens, and Jordan Peele himself has said that this monster is a metaphor for the film industry, and essentially what the monster does is it sucks up people, eats them, and then spits out like inorganic material. And so he describes that as the film industry sucks people up and then tears them apart and then spits out what it doesn't like. And so I could just talk about this forever. But for visual economy, show don't tell, there is a lot of that with the main characters, the siblings. It has a lot of them communicate is when they're far away, and they do a lot of communication with their eyes, and I think the actors do a really good job. And they also do a very good job with the main character from the Gordy plot line. His name is Ricky, but it does a lot of things to show you that he's not mentally well from that experience, but he plays it off like nothing happened. Like, it'll show him like talking about the event humorously, and then it like hard cuts to the event as it's happening, as this chimpanzee is like brutally killing people in front of him. But in that, there's a moment where Gordy looks at him, and that actually kind of comes from visual economy. It's kind of to the unity and coherence, so that nothing is out of place. because the whole Gordy storyline could see at a place if you're just looking at it at a surface level, but the way that it connects is when, like I said, this guy not respecting animals and just us as a society not respecting them in film. There's a specific scene that cuts out in where Gordy is looking at Ricky, and he comes up to him and he like holds out his hand to do like a fist bump like they do on the show, because that's just how he was trained. And the reason that he doesn't immediately attack the little kid is because there is a tablecloth on the table that he's hiding, and there's a thin line just covering just covering Gordy's eyes, so he can't see that the kid is looking him directly in the eyes. So it's really cool. There's just so many little hints through that, so that nothing is really out of place. Even like down to like the shirts and stuff the main character wears, the outfits. One of the main characters wears t-shirts of all the franchises that he worked on with the ranch, but they're all kind of not really well-known franchises, but still he wears them to kind of grasping onto the pants that somebody would recognize them, so he could help save his ranch. Even like the Ricky character, when he goes on to open the theme park where he's essentially feeding horses that he buys from another character to the monster so people can see the monster up close, his hat looks like the UFO itself, and he also has a jacket on that has the monster on it as well in patterns. And there's just so many little subtle details that you can just there's so much to break down, but it would take forever to do it. But yeah, this the film Nope and most of Jordan Peele's movies are just absolute cinematic masterpieces, that it's so very there's so much to look at that it's like, hopefully I've covered just such a small amount of it. And even looking at articles on here where I found the Easter eggs and stuff, like there's Teen Vogue, there's also there's so many articles out there explaining all the little details, that it just thinks that, yeah, this is a fantastically made movie, and there's no way around it, that this is just a cinematic masterpiece. Sorry if I'm repeating myself, but thank you so much, and I hope you have a great day.